So the next stop on the Worst Honeymoon Ever tour is, as you can see, Shelby, North Carolina. No, I'm joking. We're in Tenerife. Shelby, North Carolina is where my host learned English. So Emily and I flew in a couple days ago. We had some flight delays. My Optimize app said to train, but the airlines had other ideas. Our bags didn't arrive. Our bikes made it. Our bags didn't arrive. So we spent the first day in a lovely hotel that you put up your guests in for your tours. We missed the final day of your previous tour, which is your mama's paella. So reminder, we're gone for 2 weeks, 3 different locations. They're cycling friendly. Each one I'm getting a one-day hall pass to go for a KOM between our touristy, honeymoony things. Welcome to Worst Honeymoon Ever. I'm Phil Gaimon. I was a pro cyclist for 10 years, racing all over the world. Now I'm retired, but I'm not done suffering on my bike, climbing mountains as fast as I can, and going on crazy adventures. I couldn't be the best at racing, and I'm definitely the worst at retiring. Welcome to Worst Retirement Ever. So when you invited me on this tour, I was looking at the KOMs going up the mountain that all the pros do, and I was excited to try that on my road bike. And then you told me you wanted to do gravel. I said, please don't make me bring my gravel bike. I already have my road bike and Emily's road bike. I don't want to travel around with 3 bikes. And I'm particular, I can't rent a bike or borrow a bike. I'm particular about my gear. I want to apologize. You were right. That was an incredible bike ride. So we just finished a gravel ride. We're about 3,000 feet up from the coast. The ground, so there's some lava rocks, the views are incredible, the weather's perfect. There's pine straw on the ground. There's pine forest. There's pine straw on the ground that makes it soft to ride on. It's like you're riding on a carpet. So here we have, this is a canal?
Yeah, water flowing where you can
just dip and drink.
Exactly.
Yes, and sometimes every 15 minutes or whatever, pass some cookies.
You can get the cookies floating.
I'll wait. You do road bike tours, 1 week tours.
Yep.
You also do gravel tours. So far, I recommend the gravel. It's going to be, I'm sure the road's going to be good. We'll see if it holds up.
So what it makes us a bit different than everybody else is this is a family business. It's my brother Marcos and me, we're involved. And as Phil say, the mama is the real boss and she makes the paella the last day. That's why they come back. They want the paella.
Cycling's good though. So we're doing recon for my KOM attempt is tomorrow on this road, kind of off from the gravel bikes. And I keep making them stop. So I'm not going to see this view tomorrow. But look at that.
100 meters downhill.
So day 3 on the island, day 2 of bike riding. We did a nice ride with the group today. It was 18 riders, kind of all ability levels. I decided this would be a good view to stop and give like a little history and explanation of where we are. Emily, can you be in charge of the Wikipedia?
Sure.
So the Canary Islands, it's part of Spain?
Correct.
Spain.
Correct.
But don't think we're actually near Spain. We're actually like off the coast of Morocco, very far south. Same longitude as like
Orlando.
We're that far south. So this is why it's a vacation tourist destination for folks from Europe when it got to the cold in Germany. And it's how many islands?
7. Wait, it says here that they're active volcanoes?
Shit. That would be worst honeymoon ever for sure. Due to the altitude and the wind and the ocean, the island is home to many different climate zones. As you ride up, there's desert, there's plant. Emily is very excited with everything going on here.
Put those in our yard. I'm excited.
See, we got some of those. This is a popular altitude destination, so the pros will stay at the top and then ride or drive down and then rip up the climb, making for some good altitude training and some very challenging KOMs. That's what I have in store today. So my KOM for this trip, obviously we had to go up Mount Teide, right?
Of course.
And there's many ways up, right? There's a few segments.
Yeah, many ways up, and well, at least 5.
At least 5. So I'm not doing 5 because that would, I would die. We picked this one because we think this side of the island is a little bit less wind dependent.
Yes,
right?
better weather and more steady climb.
Some guy, Christopher Froome, 1 hour 25 minutes. 1 hour 25 minutes.
Oh,
second place won Paris-Roubaix last year.
Oh.
That's second place. It's a lot of World Tour on here. I don't even barely need to warm up for an hour and a half effort, but I'll warm up a little bit and then let's do it. All right, here we are. We're starting the climb. Now for this video, I had to do something a little bit different. Normally what I'll do is I'll take clips to kind of show you a sense of the climb. Here's a good highlight, a few seconds, cut it together. For this one, that wouldn't really do it justice because I want you to see the gradients and the climate zones and how the climb sort of evolves because it's so insanely long. So what we're gonna do this time is I also thought it'd be kind of funny if I just speed it up. So we're just gonna do the whole thing at like 8x. So I'm not doing 400 RPMs right now, but you'll just get a sense of how stupid long this climb is if we do it this way. And we'll get these views that Marco, who was the assistant, was getting out, getting from the window, and he'd pull over. So you're still not getting the full climb because I cut out parts where the van stopped and the GoPro doesn't quite make it to the very end. The battery dies with I think like 15 minutes left. So if this feels long, understand it is actually longer. It is insane how long and climbing. And if I can do it, you can do it at an 8x multiple of the speed. So just to reiterate, it's 22-mile climb, 35 Ks. That's 7,000 feet of elevation, 2,100 meters. At 5.4% is the average gradient. I don't know what that is in metric, 5.4% gradient. I'm sure someone will explain it in the comments. I did film this with the GoPro. I forgot my sea sucker mount. I'm going to explain this because I was really proud of my skills here. I forgot the sea sucker mount. I left it in the hotel. So what we did was I MacGyvered. If you don't know that reference, don't look it up. It's not a big deal. But I kind of rigged a mount. He had his iPhone mount inside the van, and of course the suction wasn't going to be that good. And it's not going to hold the GoPro that well because it sort of pinches from the outside. So I got some zip ties to secure it to the windshield wiper as a backup. So at least we have the video, and it does come out a couple times, but it's it survived and the video existed, and I'll not make that mistake again. I will keep my sea sucker camera mount with me. Okay, so let's talk about the effort a little bit. One thing, so I have the Strava Live segment loaded up in my Wahoo Bolt. Now, one thing you don't know when you start these efforts is what the other person was actually doing. So I can see in real time on the Wahoo if I'm up or down on the KOM, but I can't see sort of why. So were they? So this is three teammates riding, at least three teammates riding together. Maybe the other ones weren't on Strava, for all I know. It was 10 of them, but it was Froome, Van Barle, Kwiatkowski riding together. For sure they didn't have speed suits. For sure they didn't have tubular wheels on. They're just training for the Tour de France. It's possible that they were motor pacing. The team car, this isn't accusing them of cheating for a KOM. They're training for the Tour de France, and the KOM sort of happens when you do that and you're good. But a lot of times, I've done plenty of these pro training camps. They're not going for KOMs. They're not doing a turn and burn. It's not Dylan pulling for 45 minutes and then swinging off. So it could be the team car that's just simulating a race pace, and those guys are supposed to hang on. Or it could be Froome just said, "Hey, I'm going to do 410. You guys, ride next to me or hang on as long as you feel like it," and then they sort of crack one by one. That makes a lot more sense to me. I think they would have been going faster if they were drafting anything, but it's sort of impossible to know without asking them. Which honestly I would have messaged Van Barle, but he's a little bit busy winning like Omloop and getting ready for stuff. I don't want to mess with his. I don't want to ask about Strava right now. Good guy. Also the good guy, Chris Froome's a good guy. and they had a story, Alberto and the Delgado brothers told me a story about him that I actually just asked him to talk at camera and tell you himself. So we'll do that.
This was one of the first years of the company. He was in May, around his birthday. He was training in Tenerife, and he was posting a few things on social media. And one of the hashtags he was using was "Where is the cake?" So I decided to buy a cake and to send it to Hotel Parador, where they were staying. A few days later, we started receiving a lot of messages on social media, and Chris just posted a picture of the cake, saying thank you guys for the cake. So yeah, hopefully today he won't be too mad at us by bringing Phil here to take his comp.
That would turn out to not be a problem, the losing of comms to Froome. By this point, to the beginning, I start going in the live segment. I'm like 30 seconds up, pretty quick, and at some point I was like, oh, this is when Froome started going, and pretty quick I was even on time, and then I was down, and then I was down a lot. And then it was just, here's a slow motion train wreck of, I'm halfway through and I'm 3 minutes down. I'm just going to be more than that by the end. But we're going to crank it through, and then there's conditions. And like I said, maybe they're working together, or motor pacing to an extent. Nothing to explain I'm on YouTube for a reason. A lot of people do this thing just like, oh, you're in the top 10 on the thing. There's no World Tour team. Like, yes, for sure when I retired, I was better than plenty of guys in the World Tour still, but there's no team who's sort of looking at the results saying, oh, look, we really need a guy who can come in 6 minutes behind Chris on an hour and a half climb. No one. So for every rider who I'm like, I'm better than that guy, there's also no team who sort of needed me, and I'm better off here doing this and having a horrible, miserable, torturous, sweaty honeymoon. No, it was great. This whole trip was incredible. I think people get the irony in my whole thing now. But here, I'm just trying to hold the power. As you get higher, it's hard to, the power goes down. So normally you don't want a positive split, meaning you want a negative split. You want to do better power in the second half of an effort. On something like this, that's not really realistic, and your power is going to fade. Whatever, you're just going to die on something like this. But I'm always able to adjust my effort a little bit and still keep the speed up, find little spots where it's flatter I just have enough experience. I'm not going to completely kill myself and have to stop. I'll back it down to 310 on the flat parts, or when the gradient goes down to 4, and that'll recover so I can, do closer to 400 when it's better. So see here, I'm trying to do that and not fall apart, but still keep the speed up and do my best effort. I don't think I could have done a whole lot better than this ever. At this point in my honeymoon, I do this Inside Tracker blood test to monitor my stuff, but every couple months my deal with them is I do a new test, and I get to stay on top of all that. I think I get 6 tests a year is my allotment. I purposely did one before this trip because I knew if I did one when I got home, my blood would be mostly cheese and wine. And this is the tail end of that. I'm honeymooning properly, put it that way, but I'm also getting in my rides and I'm going pretty good. I'm not at my worst here. Although it might look like it as my cadence starts to drop. That's how you know I'm getting fatigued. When I'm fresh, I'm spinning 110, and then it's this. This looks even slower than it is because we've been going at 8x before, but here we are. You can see the volcano rock here. Think about the banana trees where we were, an hour ago on this climb. And now it's all these pine forests as you get higher. It's funny how much it looks like Big Bear. It's sort of the same altitude. Often will breed the same, and really like Tenerife. It's similar climate to California, at least SoCal in lots of ways, kind of deserty climbing. You get higher up and you get these. So here I'm just way down and just trying to hold on. This road was super straight and super long and a fun form of torture. I like torture. That's what I do.
So while Phil is out climbing today, I'm at the hotel just hanging out. And I happened to come across La Zona de Chill. And this is spectacular because if you know, I installed a chill zone, which is exactly what I've been calling it, in our backyard recently. So this is like, I think I'm in heaven.
Stand up a little bit just to mix up and use some different muscles. And normally I stand up when it's steeper, but on a stretch like this, I was just standing up to give myself a little relief. Oh, there's where the camera. There's the camera. This is a reminder to not forget your sea sucker, but it's still there. It's still there, and he'll fix it. Yep, there we go. Be going by. You got it. You got it. Nope. No, he didn't get it. that was actually when the camera, I believe the battery died at this point. So we cut that in. Marco got to do some more running at a high altitude. I'm almost there. All right.
Phil is coming.
This is the finish. I kept going because it didn't really look like the finish, so I wanted to make sure I crossed the segment. But there's the view. Kind of worth it. Think about it, I was right down there at the beach an hour and a half before that.
Well, we're going to against.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not surprised. My feelings are not hurt. Oh, what a cool climb though.
Yes.
Whew.
But it was amazing. You climbed very, very fast, huh?
I felt good.
Felt good, no?
Just, so did Chris. Oh. All right, thanks guys.
Ah, you are very welcome.
Whew. All right.
Ready to tackle another one? No.
Take pizza tonight. So we just finished the fourth day of riding here in Tenerife. When I finished the gravel ride, I knew it'd be tough to see if the road would compare. I didn't think it would. I have to say, after this day, I call it a tie. There's a road that stretches the whole top of the island. We just did this road. You can do 100K each way. There's very few cars. There's a highway below us, so no one uses the ridge up here. Beautiful, twisty, turny. It really felt like riding on trails. Just some amazing scenery, perfect weather. The temperature's just been perfect today. Nice coffee stop with a great group, and just a fun attitude with everyone we were riding with. And it ends at a lovely vineyard, as a proper honeymoon should. Guys, thank you so much. This was an incredible trip. Americans, put Tenerife on your biking bucket list. I'll put a link to Tenerife Bike Training in the description.
Pleasure from our side. It was very nice to have you here. I hope you have enjoyed.
Thank you, Phil. We are here.
Appreciate it.
All the Americans during the winter time, we are here for the training camps.
Right.
And we are really happy to help.
Ciao.
Bye.
Perfect.
Toma, Santiago.
So Tenerife, it's in Spanish colony, so it feels like Spain, but you technically, the Canary Islands are in Africa. The culture here feels. Can you describe it, Emily?
Quite Cuban. Where am I looking? There it is. Yeah, no, very, very similar to Cuban cultures in a lot of ways. So I feel really at home here. It's been really nice.
A lot of people immigrated from here to Cuba and to the Caribbean. So it's a weird feel. It doesn't feel like Europe. It definitely doesn't feel like Africa. Really, it's kind of its own thing.
It's a long history of immigration between Cuba and Venezuela, and the Canary Islands. It's interesting. So for our last day in Tenerife, no bikes, and I get to hang out in the chill zone as well. Just want to thank everyone for
for coming on our honeymoon. A lot of you went to our wedding, you know, via
It's true.
YouTube.
Yeah. Thanks for
but-
coming to both. We
Yeah.
had a lot of fun.
I hope you. There's no way they enjoyed it as much as we did.
No, but they still had fun.
I hope you had fun.
That's how fun
And
it was.
and you can visit some of these places yourself. Peace.